Understand how all these themes come together. So here's Carl Hopkinson, one of England's assistant fielding coaches, working now with the England under-19 boys at Loughborough.
Diving in the main England team's an area that Richard Housel wanted to work on, so I'm trying to get what he's doing there and sort of get it down across the age groups who I'm working with, the 16s, 17s and the 19s and 18s as well. So, and diving was an area that I wanted to highlight. There's a few key areas that I wanted to get in and get across to the boys that I thought would help. We basically broke it down pretty simply, so we just literally started them having just a little catch and they had to dive and catch it and dive out across and along the mat. We then progressed just to a one bounce feed and then moved on to the machine, which did the same thing, a bit more realistic, going either side, feeding. You can go either way then as well, which gives specific practice that you want. Obviously some outfields are a bit slidier, shall we say, than others, some grip and stuff like that, so if you can get hold of just off the grounds, we get hold of a watering can, hose, anything like that to make it slippy for your practice, so it makes the kids, the adults, whoever you're working with, it makes it easier, more comfortable. They feel happier about sliding out across the surface. They don't think it's going to be uncomfortable or hurt them, which is one area that we want to get the diving so that everyone's technique's pretty much the same, so that they can feel safe and comfortable in diving, so their techniques will be good, and when they get into the game they're not going to worry about it, so they'll be more efficient. Talcum powder, like the watering can and stuff like that, it's just, and the watering the outfield, it's just to prevent little injuries and niggles, and you slide a lot better. Good. Try and get when you set, when you're setting, try and turn your body. So you're turning your hips, you're getting a hip drive here, and then you're taking that little step. So from here, it's only going to be a small step, don't throw it. So you set, and then it'll be a small step in to get your body, because now, if you look at my hips and my shoulders, now they're both going towards the ball. Otherwise you end up, as a bowler as well, you want to dive safely so you can stay on the park. And here, you get your arms caught, everything, there's a lot of impact. So you want to make sure you're landing on all these solid body parts, yeah? So it's in, set, step, bang, yeah? So you're here, chest, in there. Just get into the habit of going two hands. Better, better. Great effort, Titch. When you're in your set position, you want to make sure you're light and low, okay? So when you're coming in and setting, you're in that position there. So because you've got three things that you're going to need to do. You're either going to catch it, you're either going to stop it, and once you stop it, you're going to throw it, aren't you? So those are the three things you're going to do. But you need to be able to do all of those things from a position that allows you to do it. So if you're too upright like that, you might be all right moving and chasing, but if a catch comes at you low or you have to dive, you're not in a position to be powerful enough to move it. So you want to set light and low. You don't want to be too solid either, so you can't move anywhere. So it's that sort of position here, because this is where your energy comes from. This is where your drive comes from to make you powerful. When you're diving out, try and get a step in. So after your set position, you've then got this hip drive and sort of turn to whichever way the ball's going to go. So we're just going to our dominant side at the moment. So you're coming in, set, then you take that little step. So in this region here, it's only going to be a small step because it's only a small dive. If you're running or whatever, it might be bang, bang, step, then dive. So the step might get a bit bigger. But in here, it's only a small step. So there, step. Now my body's going at that angle towards the ball. And when you're diving out, you want to make sure you're going nice and low at the ball. So you're almost diving, in this case, along the mats. Better, better, get lower, get lower. Good, Dawes. Dawes, what did you do different on that one that you didn't on the other two that you missed? You're a bit later on the other two, a little bit, but you kept your hand, your arms went right out, and you slid with your arms out like that, as opposed to the ones before, you dived, and then at the last minute, you didn't really think you were going to get there, so you pulled your arms in. Try and hold your arms out as long as you can on the line of the ball. They're the only way to, I think, to describe it is like if you're taking a catch to your right, you wouldn't at the last minute pull your hands back in. You'd want to keep your hands on the line of the ball, wouldn't you? It's exactly the same thing when you dive. You keep them out there, bang, so they're nice and solid. Yeah? Good effort, good effort. Great effort. What I liked about that, what was really good about that is even though it didn't look like you were going to get it, you still carried on diving out because you don't know what you can get. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if you ended up probably that far short of it, yeah. But you never know until you have it. Sorry, you never know until you have a go, do you? You've stopped both of those clean 2 hands, yeah. And if you're lying down there like this, here, how you to get into a position to throw? You got to get all right on that way. If you're here, you can pop onto your feet. A little bit of bounce, and your momentum takes you back onto your feet. Whereas if you're lying on your back, you're like a tortoise. You know, you can't get back up, can you? So if you're there, bang, pop up, or you got good agility, so you'll be able to get back onto your feet, or you can then get your leg up or whatever to get into a position to then throw. All right? From your set, doors, top jaw, mate. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to progress it on. We're going to use one of the fielding machines that's high up, so it's going to skim and bounce. But this time I'm going to try and make it go either way. So we're not just going to go one way, I'm going to try and make it go both ways, so it puts you under a little bit more pressure. Okay? Never know unless you have a go. Yeah? So always, even if you think it's miles away, always put in a dive, because if you haven't got a sweeper behind you and he's hit it hard, you're not going to chase and stop it, so you may as well have a go at trying to dive and stop it. Yeah? You don't know what you can stop. We just do one more round, have a little competition. So if you 3 go, and you 3 go. Do 2 rounds each. Awesome, outstanding. There are like 4 or 5 major points that I think are crucial to getting a good dive. Just shout them out, just whatever you think.
Timing?
Yeah, timing.
Solid set right. Yeah, good.
Set right, good, yeah. Light and low, set, light and low is the way I like to think about it in my head. But timing is crucial as well. Then from your set position, you've got your what comes in there then next. Yeah, so you got your hip drive and that little power step towards where you're going to dive. When you're diving, what do you want to land on? Yeah, so you're landing here on your thighs, elbows, chest. Okay. What other reason, apart from it being the most solid and safe way to dive, for injury prevention and stuff like that, what other reason would you want to land? Yeah, like I said to you two over there, you're in a position. If you get on your side, or if you get on your back, you're not in a position then to get up and throw. I've not looked at that today, but you're then not in a position to be able to pop up, and then ideally you can pull off a brilliant stop, get to your feet. The batters are both somewhere in the middle because they thought it was past you. Then you can get up, throw to the keeper, throw to whoever's at the stumps, or hopefully direct hit would be the ideal scenario of where you want to get it to. We're just going to finish off with a little catching drill. Okay, so there's 6 of you, so we'll have 1 feeding. 1 feeds from there on 1 knee. It's like a reaction drill, so silly point, have a slip, gully. So have 2 silly points, have 2 short legs, 2 silly points, and a slip. Okay, and 1 feeds from there. So feeder on 1 knee, just throws it quite flat, quite quick, into about my midriff here. 1, 4. Wait, get it! No! Oh! Last round after this. Okay, if you don't get it this time, you've got to do double. 10 for double, yeah? 1. Yeah, I'll do double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway. 6. 7. Ooh. Still on 7. 8. 9. 10. Well done, boys. Top jaw. Well worked, lads.
Back now to Tunbridge to see the academy players.